Hello, YouTube. I am Adam. This is my uncle, Daniel. Go check out his YouTube video, please. I'm in one of them. His YouTube channel is Daniel the Kentucky Atheist.
Holland.
Okay, so for my first video, I'm going to be doing a movie review. This video isn't going to be based on one movie, though. It will be based on multiple. We are going to be reviewing the first Michael Keaton Batman, the second Michael Keaton Batman, and Batman Forever. So, let's talk about what we liked first. What did you like most about the first Batman movie?
Only one thing. The visuals. The visuals were epic. The visuals were great. The storytelling, terrible.
I will agree with you there. I did love the visuals, but there was a couple other things I did like. I loved the villain. Although he was a bit too old.
Yeah, that's
which
another thing.
I will agree with you on that. Because me and him have talked about this before. Jack Nicholson was a bit too old for the role.
So was Michael Keaton.
Yes, but I do believe that Jack Nicholson would have been a great role if he was younger.
Yeah, but the thing is, he wasn't. I wish they had done Batman the way they originally tend to do it. With, the guy, I wish I knew his name, but he played in Back to the Future as, what's that character's name? Michael J. Fox's character?
Marty McFly?
Yeah, Marty McFly's father. That guy would have been an epic Joker.
I do agree with you there.
They also were going to cast Charlie Sheen as Batman. Imagine what that would have done to his career, and he looks like a Bruce Wayne.
He had a great jawline for it.
He looks like a Batman. And the only thing that won Michael Keaton the role of Batman was his crazy eyes, according to Tim Burton. Tim Burton is a great storyteller when it comes to animation and puppeteering. But when it comes to live action movies, he just flat out sucks. He should have stuck to what he knew best, and that's animation and puppeteering. Because he's fantastic at it. But as far as live action storytelling, he just wasn't the man for the job. And you can't... they shouldn't have allowed a director with the mindset of...
An animator.
A mindset of going into a movie that people are going to be hungry for more of the mindset of, well, I'm just going to do one movie. I don't want to do two. I don't want to do three. That's why that's why Batman Returns isn't a continuation or a sequel to the first one. Okay? And he just wanted to, he didn't even want to tell a story. Okay? He just wanted to say Batman's dark. Well, that's good that he wanted epic visuals and to say that Batman's dark, but Batman's also much more than that. He's also a genius. And he's also a great detective. That's why he's the world's greatest detective. And you have to explore those aspects, and whenever you don't, it's just fight scenes and spraying on fake sweat. You're not captivating the fans. I grew up with the Michael Keaton or the Tim Burton Batmans. And I grew up with the Joe Schumacher Batmans. The whole franchise was terrible. And I loved the Batmans when I was a kid, but most kids love bad movies. And even as a child, I even would scratch my head wondering, even ask my mom a couple times when I was really, really small, why do they have old people playing superheroes? And if someone were to ask me at 9 years old, what was what did you like most about the story of Batman? I don't want to hear about the the visuals, but what was the storytelling that you liked the most about it?
Listen, man.
I would have looked at you like you were stupid. Like, my responsibility. What's Batman? That's the only thing I liked about it. It was Batman. But as far as storytelling, it just wasn't there.
Now, the thing with Tim Burton, though, he's good with casting the villains, but not with the
I will give him
heroes.
that. Michelle Pfeiffer was
Michelle
great
Pfeiffer,
in
which
Batman
we'll
Returns.
get into that whenever we get to Batman
Danny
Returns.
DeVito was just too perfect for the role. He was just perfect.
What I mean was Jack Nicholson seemed like he would have been good if he was younger.
Yes.
He was enthusiastic. He seemed happy about being able to play the role. And everything that I saw him do was fun. I will admit, I loved his performance. If he was younger, it would have made it even better. Now, I do not like who played Batman. I'm not a Michael Keaton fan. I liked a couple of his movies.
I like a few of his movies, but
he just did not fit Batman perfectly.
Not at all.
I don't think he looked like a ladies' man, as he's supposed to be.
Batman was, his alter ego as Bruce Wayne he was a ladies' man. This rich billionaire ladies' man that was very attractive, and that just wasn't Michael Keaton.
And I don't think they put Batman into the movie. Batman just wasn't there for me. No. Batman is more than, oh, I'm going to go fight this. They barely hinted. Well, they did tell about it. But Batman, the whole main reason why he became Batman was mostly because of his parents' death. And they had a scene where he went into an alley and placed roses where they died. And they had a scene where he explained, I think, that his parents died.
Well, the flashback scenes, but
that was basically it. And although whenever I first watched this movie right here,
but to a young child,
no, listen,
why is he Batman? Just the flashbacks and that. Okay, I guess parents died, they're murdered, but why is he Batman?
And then it comes out that I don't like it. But whenever I was younger watching this movie, I did. I found it interesting how they made Joker the murderer of his parents.
I didn't like that.
I don't like that now, and I see
I never
why.
liked that. Even as a kid, I didn't like that.
And the only way you can tell that he was the line, "We danced with the devil in the pale moonlight."
Yeah.
But some of the things in this movie I do like.
The Joker also plays with knives. That's his thing. He's not all about the guns. In this movie, this Joker just always shooting. Always playing with a gun. And that's not what Joker does. And again, he was just too old. It was kind of silly. And a man in his 50s, almost in his 60s, also kind of overweight. Like whenever he was dancing on top of the bell tower, where, like, woo, look how high we are, that kind of attitude. I noticed, I was like, as a kid, isn't Joker really thin? This guy's a little bit overweight for this role. Even as a kid, that threw me off.
So, in my opinion, Batman is not perfect.
It's not a good movie.
Will never be perfect because of the flaws that it has, but it does have some good qualities. And although he doesn't like to, whenever I see a movie or after seeing the movie, I'll rate it.
I love the visuals. That's the only thing I can rate on it.
And I rate this movie a 3 out of 10 out of everything.
I rate that movie a 1 out of 10 just because the visuals was great. But other than that, the rest of it was just a nightmare.
Now, time to move on to Batman Returns. I believe that Batman Returns was the best out of both of the Michael Keaton Batmans.
It was... I'll give you that.
Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer made that movie for me. And I do find that kind of sad in a movie where the villain makes me like the movie even more.
And this is what I don't like about this movie. There's a lot of things I don't like about this movie that I'm going to point out. Okay, it's not a continuation of the first Batman movie. It is basically Tim Burton's remake of his own movie. And he's very clear about that. Because he says and stated, as well as Michael Keaton stated, they do not like doing sequels and prequels. They do not like doing franchises. And whenever you do a big budget franchise such as Batman, Superman, whatever, you take on that responsibility as a director of directing a movie. You better be ready to do a sequel, a prequel, 4, 5, whatnot. Okay? And if you're going into the mindset as a director, and I'm talking to any directors out there, you're going into a mindset of doing a big budget franchise. I don't care if it's Ghostbusters, Batman, Superman, and the Marvel movies or whatnot. You better not go into the mindset of, I'm not going to do a sequel. I don't want to do a sequel. If you're one of them directors that don't like to do sequels, stick to doing other movies that aren't big franchises, like romance or horror or whatnot. Stay away
movies
from...
that can be told in one movie.
Yes, movies that can be told in one movie. You can't do superhero movies of any kind or big franchise movie that can be wrapped up all in one movie. It's just impossible.
And it's kind of the same with books, too. Because...
I'm not a big book reader.
Neither I am, though.
I know you are.
But what I noticed is directors will take on movies based on books most of the time. Yes. Batman is a comic book. Another movie that I really like, though, is called 5 Feet Apart. It's based on a romance book. Mm. But what that and Batman have different, other than being two different kinds, like one's a novel, one's a comic, Batman has multiple parts. Batman has multiple stories throughout multiple comics. While 5 Feet Apart is one story told in one book. And if a second book is made later on, sure, there might be a sequel, but that would be up to the director.
Okay. So, that's what I don't like about Batman Returns. Now, the casting with Danny DeVito as Penguin, great. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, just, those two are perfect for the roles. And I think even though the first one was pretty much crap, it could have still been an epic franchise. And the 90s directors, both the directors, Tim Burton and Joe Schumacher, both squandered away the franchise. The reason why fans like me grew out of Batman because of this Bat nightmare, I'm going to call it. Okay. The visuals, again, great. Love the visuals. Wasn't a big fan of the Batcave in this movie. I did like the Batcave in the first movie. I thought that looked really good. I didn't understand why they needed to change that for this movie. And, this movie could have easily been tied in with the first Batman.
Yeah, there were many leaking points.
And another problem I have with this movie, Tim Burton didn't like the idea of a Robin. Well, if you want to say that Batman is dark, but you can't imagine a dark version of Batman with a Robin, you don't need to be directing this franchise.
Batman
and he shouldn't
has
have.
to have
Marlon Wayne he got the role of Robin in this movie. He was paid, he got casted, hired on, and was paid for it. Don't take my word for it. Google it up. Fact check it. Okay, wait.
Okay, I
would have loved to have seen his version of Robin. it would have been great to have a black Robin. Imagine how that would have changed Batman for the better. Because they didn't have very many black comic book characters onto the big screen. I would have loved to have seen that, as well as Billy D. Williams' version of Two-Face, but we'll get in that into the Batman Returns in Part 2.
Okay, so as he said, we will be doing a Part 2. I rate this movie a 4 out of 10. I enjoyed this movie much more than this.
It had more of a story than the first one. I'll give that. So I'm going to rate it a 3 out of 10.
Okay. So we're around the same. We're
around
if we were rating about around 10s, we'd be 6.
Well, I kind of got to take off a star because he didn't put Marlon Wayne in the movie, even though he got paid for it. So that's going to be 2-star rating for me. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we will see you in Part 2, where we will be reviewing Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, both of the Joel Schumacher Batmans.